Hey there guys, so there's still a lot of characters that are missing from Global, and yeah, I'm just gonna go over them right now. So yeah, we're just gonna get started with the first entry here. So this character, at least these two characters, they actually been out for months now. Now the first one being Elot. She's actually good. She's alright. She's not like a PvP unit now, but she can be pretty good in PvE stuff. I actually like Elaine. You know, before I just thought her as like that Elizabeth clone from the movie, but as time went by, I just started to feel something for her. Not like that, but something. She has a detonate card, so it's like, you know, Molesculas and all those guys would detonate. She hits them with, you know, with each orb, she does more damage to them. Also, she has a very interesting card here. It basically decreases crit resistance and crit defense by 30%, 40%, 50%, rank 3 being for 2 turns. And that's pretty insane. Like, this is a card that no one else has. At least I don't think no one else has it right now, but Eli is like the only one with this card, if I know. Her stats are, well, I'm not really a stats person, but she has a lot of crit damage. So we got her ultimate here. Her ultimate removes debuffs and grants debuff immunity on all allies, and increases defense-related stats of all allies by 100% for 4 turns. Pretty good if you ask me. You know, she's like that, one of those guild boss units that you'll like to have. And, yeah, she can be pretty good. And, her passive here, it increases her crit damage of allies by 5% per hero skill use. So, yeah, if you just keep attacking, you just keep using cards, your crit damage is going to go up. And this will really help with units like Jericho and all those guys that rely on crit damage. So, yeah, she's pretty good. Yeah, I like to have Eli. I think she'll be alright. Now, as for the second character here, so Bellion, just like Eli, is from that 7 Deadly Sins movie. And, he's okay. Yeah, he's just okay. His passive, he heals 30% of diminished HP every time a debuff is removed from the hero. So, yeah, I guess that's fine. He has a shatter card too. You know, so the Norse resistance, and he hits pretty decent. He also has a card that depletes the ultimate gauge, so that's good. Rank 3 does 450 and removes 3 ultimate move gauges. And his ultimate here, it's just a standard ultimate, you know, nothing really special, he just hits. So, yeah, Bellion as a unit, he's not seen at all. On JP, he's like not seen, if barely seen. I've seen a few videos of people trying him, or I've seen a video of Bellion being used, but he's just he's not all that. He's just an okay unit. That's about it. That's about it when it comes to Bellion. I just know for a fact when he does get announced, though, I know one specific person will be very happy that he'll be on Global. I mean, I'm telling you, like, this person is obsessed with Bellion. Next unit, Blue Fraudrin. Now, Blue Fraudrin, he came out around April 9th. So he also came out with Green Mom Speed. So he should be showing up here soon, because it's been 6 months, and the global side of Netmarble, they seem to do this thing where every 6 months, every 5 to 6 months, they're gonna release the unit. And this is exactly what happened with Gloxinia. You know, they released Red Gloxinia on May 7th, and then they waited until freaking late November. Now this is the JP list, by the way. Well, you already knew that, but we just got Gloxinia just now, and it took a while. Like, it would have been better if he showed up like 2 to 3 months ago, but it took this long because Red Gloxinia released on May. Either that or they just didn't care about Gloxinia. But anyway, this is about Blue Fraudrin. Now, Blue Fraudrin, now he's that unit that he's like a troll unit right here. Now, you don't have to level him up at all. He has a broken passive which, if the hero dies, or when the hero dies, you know, remove debuffs and all allies and fills their ultimate move gauge to max. So yeah, it's funny. It says when the hero dies because you already know people are gonna keep Blue Fraudrin at level 1, and if you like bump it to like a Pierce team and all those guys, you know, someone like probably Rugal or Blue Demon Meliodas or Lillia, they're gonna go ahead and kill Blue Fraudrin, and then he's gonna instantly give your heroes the ultimate gauge. So if you have like Lost Vein Meliodas and Blue King, that's just a rip for that team. That's a rip for that Pierce team, especially if you have them like 6/6 and all that. But as a unit, he has a Shatter card, so just like Bellion, he ignores the resistance. Yeah, and he taunts enemies as well, and he reflects 100% of damage taken for 2 turns on his rank 3. His ultimate, he depletes the ultimate move gauge by 3 orbs. As a unit, he's I mean he's only used for that bait. He's really only used for a sacrifice. He's like Green Lily. I mean, he's like Green Elizabeth. You know, what? No, Blue Elizabeth. Blue Elizabeth has a passive that if she dies, she'll fill up her hero's ultimate gauge. But Blue Fraudrin is like, if he dies, he basically fills up your hero's ultimate gauge by max. Now, unless your opponent is smart to do like an ultimate move gauge removal after Blue Fraudrin dies, yeah, they're dying. They're gonna die. So this next unit here, this is a unit I've been waiting for some time now, and I can't wait till she comes out. Green Easton here. Now, Green Easton, she's like a Goddess Elizabeth, Lost Vein, and Blue King team killer. When she came out, she absolutely destroyed that team, or she at least helped destroying it. She has a weak point card, which comes into play with this card right here. Now, this is the card that all Lost Vein, Goddess Elizabeth, and Blue King teams are scared of, because it disables recovery skills, it prevents the ultimate move gauge from filling up as well, and it's just insane. You know, it prevents them from filling up on a rank 2 for 2 turns and on a rank 3 for 3 turns. So imagine if you have Gold 3rd, right? And you have 2 rank ups. You just rank up this card right here, and you just use it, and they're screwed for 3 turns. They cannot fill up their ultimate move gauge. So yeah, Lost Vein, those Lost Vein users that like doing that ult rush crap, they're gonna be stopped by this card. And her weak point card is gonna do so much damage as well, because it's times 3 damage against debuff enemies. So it's just great. And her passive right here, it increases all allies' pierce rate, crit chance, and crit damage by 5% per debuff on enemies. So if you decide to run her with pierce and all that, yeah, Blue Demon Meliodas or Rugal is going to be hitting harder. Especially if you have this right here, if you have instantly a rank 3 ready to go. So yeah, it's going to do a bunch of damage. So yeah, Green Easton, pretty damn good unit. And a unit that also released with Green Easton is Blue Valentina. Now Blue Valentina, I don't see her dropping by herself because we got green Valentina already, and it wouldn't make sense for blue Valentina to drop by herself, especially since she's not really good. The only thing that she's good for is the final boss. There was a final boss. It was Bond and Elaine, and this was the only thing that she was good for. Overall, she's not really good. Not that good. She has a detonate card, that's fine, and she has this card that prevents the ultimate mood gauge from filling up. And of course she has the same ultimate card as Green Valenti. So overall she's, I mean, as you can see here, she's not really used for anything. Her passive as well, it applies to effects. Goodness. Yeah, it restricts recovery related stats on enemies who have used buff skills. So overall as a unit, she's only used for that final boss, and I don't think we're getting final boss Bond or Elaine for some time. Who was the last final boss? The last final boss was Deanne, and that was last month. So going by how Netmarble's been doing this, where there's a final boss every 2 months, final boss Bond and final boss Elaine should be hitting in January. So I think I'm not sure if Valenti's gonna come out right there though. I'm not sure. We'll see. Actually, my mistake. Since final boss Deanne was last month, we should be getting final boss Bond and final boss Elaine next month in December, if they're doing the 2-month thing. So, well, we should be getting final boss Bond and final boss Elaine in December. It would make sense. If not, then early January. But since they've been doing this final boss range where they do it like every 2 months, it makes sense for them to drop next month. So yeah, expect Blue Valenti next month. Now as for this unit, this is a unit that's actually been missing for like quite some time, and in fact it's like Gloxinia. He's like a JP exclusive, or at least Glox was a JP exclusive. Like this guy's like a different story here. Now, if they're gonna go by how they've been doing it, which I know that Global and JP are 2 different things, but yeah, this is weird though. I mean, Red Fat King, he released before Gloxinia, so this is just weird already. But as for Red Fat King here, he's actually decent. He's a decent unit. He has a card that fills the ultimate mood gauge. He fills his ultimate mood gauge by 1 to 2 orbs, and it's like an AoE card here. He also has a heal card here, and it rejuvenates, so additional recovery equal to 60% of recover HP at the start every turn. And of course he has the same ultimate as the other Fat Kings, and his passive here is he removes debuffs on the hero at the start of every turn. So yeah, those ignites from Kyo, or the corrosion from Blue Demon Meliodas, or basically anyone with debuffs, he's gonna instantly remove them. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good passive right there. I'm not sure why he didn't come out yet. He should have came out at least last month at the slightest. I don't know, I guess Netmarble just wants to milk everyone. They want to have everyone spend their gems, because they know for a fact no one will summon for Red Fat King unless you really like this guy. Unless you really like King in this form, or you really like this unit. Because Netmarble, knowing them, they just want to make money and all that, which is why they released that King of Fighters banner. But then again, they did the same thing for the Attack on Titans, where they released it like 2 weeks after it left. So I'm not surprised that they didn't release Red Fat King yet. But here's a unit that I think might come out next week though. Maybe next week, if not next month. Green Dro. Now, Dro came out in June, and he came out around... Goodness, my computer. Oh wait, no, my bad, I was looking at the wrong one. He came out around here, June 11th. So, oh, well, that's King right there. So, Green Dro, as a unit, he's very good. He's fine actually. He has a detonate card. It attacks one enemy. He does quite a bit of damage with that card, especially if the enemy is filled up. Then yeah, he's gonna be hitting. He also has this cool card right here, which disables buff and debuff skills. That's a good way to counter those guys right there, who does that. And his ultimate is charged right here, so it ignores defense, and that's pretty good. And his passive right here, every time an enemy's ultimate move gauge reaches 5, he disables ultimate moves for 2 turns. And yeah, Green Dro. Knowing that Gloxinia just came out this week, I won't be surprised if Dro releases next week. Especially with this unit right here. Reddeen, at least the big one. Now Reddeen actually released with Green Dro, and it's like everyone calls on like the wedding dress DN, because you know DN is wearing a wedding dress. it was pretty cute on her. And actually there was a time where they actually run Reddeen with Green Dro, and it worked a little bit. Especially her passive right here, it increases all giant allies damage dealt by 40%. That's damn good. And she has a card here. It actually disables ultimate moves for 1 to 2 turns. So it's like Milam's card. Yeah, Milam. I remember Milam. She was my strongest at one point. That was because I got obsessed with her earlier this year. I should build her back up. This card right here. Now this one is actually like Red Gloxinia's card. It allows the use of only rank 1 skills. So just like Red Gloxinia, it disables rank 2 and rank 3 skills for 1 to 2 turns. And of course she has this right here, and she has one of the strongest AoEs in the game. Like damn, or at least that's what, 790%. Interesting. But yeah, DN's ult can be pretty devastating, but as a unit she runs pretty well with Green Dro. I don't see people using that comp anymore. That's only because there's units like you got the Archangels running around now, Serio and Tamio, and yeah, those two are pretty devastating. Goodness gracious, I can't wait for Sarnio to come out. Sarnio is damn good. And now the last unit. Now this unit, she came out a few months ago, and this is actually a unit that I'm banking on that may come out later this year. At least that's what I'm guessing. So this is the last one I think that's coming out. Evil Lillia. Now, we don't need to wait like 3 to 4 more months for her to come out, because we already got that Final Boss Lillia event back in September. So what's stopping them from releasing her as soon as December? Now Evil Lillia, not only just from looking pretty damn good, just from being very attractive, she's pretty good on the field as well. She's a very good support unit. She heals she heals the HP of the lowest HP ally on her rank 1, and on her rank 2 and rank 3 she does it to all allies, and that can really help. It's like a heal card, except you're doing damage. And this card right here, it depletes the ultimate move gauge on all enemies, and on a rank 3 it depletes it by 3, so that's good. And she has a ultimate here that removes buffs on all enemies and inflicts damage to 350%, and on her when it's 6/6, 525%. And her passive, here, it applies corrosion debuffs on enemies with 3 or less ultimate move gauges for 2 turns. So, there was a comp that was actually being run before. It was Festival King, Green Demon Henderson, and Lillia. And that duo was so toxic. It was so good. Like, they worked very well together. So her passive is just so good here. So if you don't have 4 to 5 on your gauge, you're gonna get corrosion. So at the start of the battle, you're just gonna get corrosion. It's so good. Oh, and it reduces the attack of enemies with 5 or more ultimate move gauges by 10% for 2 turns. So yeah, she's basically screwing you over already with the ultimate move gauge. Overall, she's a pretty good unit to have, and I can't wait for her to come out as well. She's gonna be one of my main ones that I use. Like, can't wait to use her on PvP and completely screw people over. Not to sound offensive right there, obviously, but yeah, so this is the list. I'm banking on these guys releasing before the end of the year. So yeah, Elaine and Bellion here, I expect them to be released at least by December. Blue Fraudrin, maybe in December too, just because, I don't think releasing it next week will be ideal. I don't see him releasing next week. Green Easton, I can see her releasing like mid-December, just for the final boss. No, not for the final boss, just because, well, not only will it be 2 months that we had a final boss, but also, she came out shortly, if not a month or 2 after, Goddess Elizabeth. So I think that she may show up at least by late December, as well as Blue Valentina right here, because I know that Final Boss Bond and Final Boss Elaine is coming, so I can see her releasing in December as well. Now for Red Fat King, I'm not sure. I know that he's gonna be here probably by early December, at least by the most. Now Dro, I think he's probably releasing next week. It would make sense as well as Reddeen. I can see her releasing with Dro next week. And Lillia, this is just a wild guess. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it or not. It would just make sense for her just to come out next month, because if they can release Green Halloween Gother 2 weeks after he was just released on JP, they can do the same for Red Lillia. They can do the same for Evil Lillia, just give us her next month at the most. And yeah, that's it. Well, at least I think that Marvel just released Green Halloween Gother just because, people were leaving the game for Genshin and all that, or people were complaining about their release schedule and all that stuff. So they're like, you know what, we're just gonna give you guys Green Halloween Gother so you guys can like shut up and all that, and hopefully that resolves things. I think that was their mindset. Actually, there's one more unit that I want to talk about here. Now, I'm not sure if it's possible, but they have been doing these double banners lately, so I was thinking maybe Blue Droll as well. Blue Droll may release with Green Droll as well, because they do do the double banners on global. They did it with Molescula, they did it with Estarossa, they did it with Derriere, Zeldris, all those guys. So I can see them releasing Blue Dro with Green Dro as well. Now Blue Dro, he is a toxic unit. He actually can replace Blue King. He has a card that will petrify you for 1 to 2 turns, so it's exactly like Blue King's card. And he has this taunt card that he increases his HP related stats, and he also just taunts the enemies. So it's like Green Estarossa, except he's just raising up his HP instead of reflecting back the attack and life stealing, but he's just raising up his HP, and he's immune to petrification as well. So yeah, Blue King trying to petrify you, that's a nope right there. And of course he has the same ultimate as Green Dro, and he has a passive here that increases allies attack by 3% for each buff on that hero. So overall, Blue Dro is a pretty good unit. He can be pretty toxic. It's unbelievable. I saw what this man can do. He is a toxic unit. Goodness gracious. And yeah, that was it. So I expect most of these guys to be released before the end of the year, and I'm hoping that Evil Lillia that releases before the end of the year. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Actually, a little thing before I leave here, I forgot to mention about Dro's commandment. Now, just like the blue one, obviously, so his commandment, it applies a buff that increases resistance by 30% for 3 turns. Now, this buff right here, it can be applied to someone like Mai, and Mai, I tested out Mai last month. I absolutely love Mai. Yeah, Mai can buff herself up when she's ranked up and all that, but you know, just her getting buffed like that, she can already get boosts. So having someone like Dro on her side is pretty good. But yeah, the resistance thing, it can be annoying though, because it also does it to enemies as well. Not only does it give it to allies for 3 turns, but it also gives it to enemies that receives damage as well. So if you get attacked, you're just getting resist buffs. You're just getting resistance buffs, and it can be a long battle, especially if you have someone like Valentina on the other side. Oh my god, it's gonna be a long battle. But yeah, you already knew about his commandment though, but I just wanted to go over it, and that's it.